Good evening and welcome to Lodi and the World, where I sit down and talk with local leaders and influential individuals about Lodi, their role in our community, and how it sort of fits into the greater scheme of things. So tonight I have Jennie Larsen, who is the owner and proprietor of the Lodi Resale Shop, or Lodi Valley Resale Shop?
Prairie Valley
Resale Shop. That's up the head of Maine, right next to Bushnell's. I'm sure you've seen it. And I don't know if those of you watching understand exactly what it is. It is a store that is, of course, just a resale shop, but the money that is generated there, the money that they get from these sales, goes to help mostly children in our community that need medical assistance, that need eyeglasses, that need small things to help them get through, hearing aids, glasses, dental work, things that allow them to live a normal life and get involved with the community and pay attention in school and just be normal kids, as well as a lot of other people in the community that you help. So thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Give us, to start with, just, how did this all start? How did you get into this?
By default, of course. You never think you're going to get into this. But Rich Bainan from here in Lodi put out an email to everybody, a lot of people, and he thought it was important to start a resale store. And so he sent it out, and I thought, okay, I'll join you. I got a couple hours. I could be of help and assistance. And then so the two of us, actually, there was a third person, and we were the three that raised our hand and said we would help out.
Thank you.
And that was almost 12 years ago now. Richard's health took a turn for the worst, so then I just ran with it and kept it going. And we've been in this coming spring, March, we'll be there 12 years. Same place on Main Street and doing the magic that we do. Yeah.
So basically, now everybody's familiar with St. Vinny's. We all go to Sauk to St. Vinny's, and we go to Madison for Goodwill. You're doing the same thing.
Identically, same thing. Well, we're a 501c3, just like they are. The only thing is that we don't have a corporation hanging over us telling us what we can and can't do. So when the floods struck to the south of us, and people's basements were flooded out, their houses were rotten and sewage, and they lost everything. That's where we can throw the doors open. So they came with pickup trucks. You get word out on Facebook to everybody that they can come here and they can get blankets, sheets, linens. How do you even start the next day without an alarm clock and socks on your feet? And so we can make our own decisions from there. When disaster strikes, we can throw the doors open. We can give it away free. There was a fire, and one of our volunteers came to us and said, is it possible to give my relatives a discount? The double flat they were renting on both lower and upper burnt, and they now have nothing. And so I said, that's fine, we're going to take care of them. They originally called Goodwill, and Goodwill said, we don't do this. Our position is we rehabilitate soldiers. Okay, very good. Then they went to St. Vinny's, and St. Vinny's says, yes, we can give you a 50% discount, and it'll take 5 to 6 weeks to get approval from corporate headquarters.
Oh.
Yeah. So then I said to our volunteer, I said, bring them in tomorrow, bring a pickup truckload, we'll be fine. We have everything that they probably need to start homemaking again. And so that was, the very first incident that we ran into that we could actually help and make things happen.
That's amazing. I mean, and we look to St. Vinny's and Goodwill, and we know that they do good work, but I've never thought about the fact that they have to answer to a higher power.
Right.
And so now everything that goes through the resale store stays in the Lodi Valley.
It does. Well, but we'll be happy to still help people out. It doesn't matter. They're from Dane, Arlington.
That's the Lodi Valley.
That's
the Lodi Valley.
And that's why we called ourselves the Prairie Valley
Yeah.
Resale Store because we're Prairie and Valley all around us or within us.
Yeah.
So, and does it matter where a child comes from that has a rotten tooth and can't get away from the pain? We'll take care of anybody.
So, all right. So, meaning dental work. What else are you doing? I mean, give us some examples. Let us
Okay.
know what's going. Because I will say this: I always saw the resale shop up there, and I never knew what it was
Right.
and what was going on until I stopped up and talked to you.
Right.
So, where does our money go? Where do our donations go?
Right.
And our money go?
Right.
Let me put it that way.
Donations go right on onto the floor, whether we have to clean it, sort it.
But I mean, who's buying?
Shoppers are buying.
Yeah.
It could be you looking for a new shade on your lamp. So you don't want to pay $60 for a shade. So you come to the resale store and you find one for $3.95. Very nice. Those are our shoppers. And people who are on vacation who just want to do something, mill around, dig around. And then there's people who are collectors, antiquers, and we get our fair share of all of those things too.
Okay.
So it's just anybody and everybody just milling around, doesn't want to do the mall scene. They go to resale stores. The people who do come in, who don't have money to shop, those are people who are just a little less financially lucky right now than what the shoppers might be. And those are the people who just need, and we're there.
Okay.
We're there. All I got to do is catch a hint that, like, can I have these shoes for my kids and I'll pay you next week when my check comes. That's your clue that they're not going to pay a thing next week. They need these shoes now. And if you don't have $3 for a pair of shoes, then you're not going to really have it next week. So they're free.
Okay.
Just take them. And what else do you need? Winter coat, snowsuit, hats, scarves, mittens, boots. We'll fix you up. We'll just box it up and anything you need and keep coming back.
And now, I hear you say that, and part of me goes, do you ever get taken advantage of?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't
Good.
think so.
Good to hear.
Yeah, yeah.
So then the money that you make, where does that go?
Okay. Rent,
All right.
electricity, heat, water, insurance,
All right.
dumpster.
So if you're willing to, roughly how much does your overhead cost you before you can start using that money to help people?
$1,950 a month must come in order for us to stay there another month.
So you're talking $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
just before you can help anybody.
Right. Right.
If someone in the community wanted to help you out by donating, can they do that?
Oh, they sure can.
Okay.
Easy. There's a donation button on our Facebook page. There's a donation button on our website.
Okay.
But there's also a mailbox.
So if someone wanted to drop off $5 and
Right.
Yeah. All right.
And especially after the virus hit. When that killer virus came around and everyone went into shutdown. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fun stopped. Our landlord graciously gave us a month free. And that was, hopefully you can keep your fingers crossed that was going to be the, right, the little short-term virus, that influenza that we were having. Whoa, was it not that short-term? Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing we had an advantage to is we were deemed essential. Shoes, clothing. I mean, kids grow, people have those needs. Other places may have had to close down, the furniture store, or those places may not be essential, but we were. So we never shut down hardly a day. We stayed open every day of the week, but only for minor hours, from 1 until 4.
Yeah.
And so we minimized our hours. And then when I wasn't there, I put a note on the door saying, open, just call my cell phone number.
All right.
So then people would call and they say, hey, we're outside. And I say, okay, just give me 1 minute. And I drive them house. I drive over to the resale store and I would just open the door and we'd get them all fixed up again. So that worked beautifully. July 6th, we went back to 6 days a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, once you've paid your overhead, if you've got more money, where does that go?
Just go. Let me show you what we did
All right.
today.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, before you do that,
Oh.
I do want to say one thing. You've got a staff that works there.
All volunteers.
All
Right?
volunteers. That
Right.
was the thing I wanted to bring
Right.
up.
Absolutely.
So everybody that's working there is doing it volunteer.
Yes.
Your money is going only to physical overhead.
Right.
All right. So then what comes up next?
And that's why we can have lower prices than even the big dogs, because they have to pay people now in the big cities. They don't get as many volunteers
Mhm.
as what a small town, or even years ago when it used to be the church ladies would be the St. Vinny's volunteers.
Yeah.
And now as everyone's growing older and less able to do that as the decades go by, you have to pay people. And even I'm the volunteer for the last 11 and a half years as well. So I've never got paid a dime.
Thank you again.
Hey, it's here.
Yeah.
It's, it's in your blood. Do you know what blood type you are?
I do.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm B positive blood. See?
I'm A positive.
Yeah.
Actually, I got to go back and check that. I think it's positive. It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Well, I'm B positive in my blood because I know this. Be positive.
Be
Be kind.
positive. Be kind. Okay.
Be caring. Be helpful. Be thoughtful.
Yeah.
And be grateful. So it's in you.
Mm.
It's in your heart, it's in your soul, and it's who you are.
Oh.
And those are our volunteers, because no one's looking for a paycheck. And if they even have another job, they just come in and they sneak in a couple hours on Saturday. If that's your Saturday off, that's awfully nice. And it's in your heart and your soul that you're sneaking in to help for a couple hours on your Saturday.
I will say, before we move on, I will say that I've heard from a lot of people, and I've seen a lot, that the Lodi community is amazing with its volunteers.
Is it ever?
And that's, having been away for so many years and coming back and seeing the engagement and how much that Lodi cares about itself, it's amazing. It really is.
It is. We wouldn't even be there today if it weren't for the citizens holding fundraisers for us, and donations, $5, $10, maybe even much more than that, from very generous people that just kept us there and keep making that $1,900, $2,000 a month total. Yeah, if it weren't for our individual small people here, not small, you know what I mean? Individuals here.
Individuals
Yeah.
giving a little bit here and there.
Yes. That's what I meant. Thanks.
Yeah. So
we wouldn't be here.
After you reach that 2,000, what happens next?
Okay. Back to this. See this? Sweet, cute, adorable, sweet little girl. Her parents are both out of jobs, and they have not been called back. This killer virus has really taken a toll. And there is a recession that is yet to come that we haven't begun to feel. But this is what we do anyway. Now, it was a bigger photo, but we want to disguise our children. So I just took the picture of the glasses this afternoon and the child, just to show you that this is the joy that you put into kids' eyes
So
when they can see.
She got new glasses this afternoon.
2 pair of eyeglasses with hinged bands of arms on them, scratch resistant, and an eye exam.
Stylish,
very cute and adorable. And that's what we do.
All right.
That's who we are. And we fix teeth. We buy hearing aids for kids. We have paid for psychiatric assistance help.
Okay.
Bills. When the psychiatrist says, no, you haven't paid, and so we can't see your child until you pay up some of this back bill. They come to us, we take care of that, because that child obviously needs to be seen.
Yeah.
And mental health is important as dental health, and your eyesight just as well. So, and that's just the beginning of what we do. just to begin.
So you're focusing mostly on children.
We are, but the elderly as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we are. We just fit in. Some elderly don't have eye care either. Yeah.
Okay. So you've talked about medical things. Are there any? Now you've told me some of this, so I'm going to prompt you on this.
Okay.
Some of the other things that you have done. I see you at the pig shopping for multiple people.
Yes. I sent out this light, gentle. If you shouldn't be at the store because of your pre-existing conditions, just call me. I'll just volunteer grocery shop for you. And 29 elderly people later, I made these cardboard sticks in a grocery cart so that I could shop for her and him and her and her. And then the top shelf where the child sits would be number 5. And then I run them through that. I would tell everyone who got in line behind me, you better take a different lane because this is going to take a little while. And then we would check each person out. And then I go deliver, get them up there, suit up, mask up, and go into their apartment. And then drop off, refrigerate, freeze, whatever that they need assistance with. Some of their families just felt that they were in a worse predicament to be going into grandma's house than potentially I would be doing.
Yeah.
Now that 29 is dropped down quite a bit to 22.
That's a lot of people to be shopping for.
Right. Yeah. But it's not every week now. So it's it's kind of flared out. At first, these people, I was shocked. And if we're in a pandemic, and if this killer virus was so bad that everything had to shut down, including grocery stores or whatever, they had nothing in a pantry. Nothing that they could rely on. A lot of these elderly had their electricity cut off so that they would not cut off their stove electricity cut off so that they don't cook because that's a danger area. And they're reduced to just the fresh or microwave canned soup. And they had nothing. They wouldn't have survived for 1 week. After 1 week, they'd have been out of everything. So I stocked for them too. And at $16, $17 a month in food stamps, they didn't have enough money to fill a cabinet or make sure that, and you couldn't even begin to fill a shelf.
No, that's
at today's prices.
That's not much. That's not much at all.
That's like 8 cans of soup at whatever dollar amount.
I grew up with parents who grew up and lived through the Depression and World War II. So I learned early how to eat for cheap, and then I went to college and really learned how to eat for cheap. $17 does not go anywhere. No. Yep.
Even ramen soups, they flew off the shelf.
Yeah.
There was like 3 months before we saw ramen soups back in the grocery store.
I just bought some last week.
Did you?
I did.
It's 8 months later.
Yeah, it's a quick and simple base for other things. But
But this town is incredible. The first time when we did meet down at the Four Corners, and we did rally, and we made signs about just how strong is Lodi, and maybe as almost a warning saying, this is not a sleepy-eyed town. We are watching. We are watching out for our neighbors. Don't come to our town and think that you can cause trouble here. We are Lodi strong. This was the very first. Lodi strong. That was the very first time that actually we started saying we need to rally even tougher in all the different levels because the future is going to be much different in the future. We got to start looking ahead at the changes and what's coming. So we need each other at this time in this part of the game.
I won't go into the whole long story, but I had met a gal down in Texas that I talked to for, I don't know, an hour or two. And she had commented that she had come up to Wisconsin in the winter to see her uncle's cabin who had just died. And after the end of this long story, she said, you people up there, you really care about each other. All that politeness is real. I was like, well, yeah. And she couldn't understand it. And it took me a while to think about it. And I said, you know, if your car breaks down in Texas, yeah, you walk somewhere.
Yeah.
In January, your car breaks down in Wisconsin, you want to know that the next person driving by is going to pull over because it might be you next time.
Right.
And
yeah.
that is, I think, the core of we might be brusque, we might be blunt in our speech, but when it comes down to it,
Yeah.
we're helping each other.
Yes, we
and that's
are.
really good to see.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, my motto, I have a motto. We all have our own mantra, our own motto.
Yeah.
And my motto is color of my skin, humanity. Humanity is my race.
Mhm.
Peace is my weapon. And love is my religion. And if we can just remember that, humanity and peace and love, you will elevate everyone in this community. You will raise them up to a whole new level when you're standing behind them, supporting them. Now, I have it easy because people who need support actually accidentally filter into the resale store. You might have to go out and wander around going, okay, who needs support? I heard somebody say that I should be more supportive and I should pay it forward. How am I going to do that today? It's a little bit not realistic at times to be all these great things, but you can on a little tiny level every day.
Yeah, right.
That compliment to a person. There's nothing. Did we stop getting the door for somebody?
I still do that. I've had people
Yeah.
Occasionally get uppity that I've opened a door for a lady, and I'm like, I opened a door for him too.
Right.
If someone's right behind me, I open the door. It's just
Doesn't matter.
politeness.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And when someone opens the door for me, I'm like, well, thank you very much.
Yep.
You know?
That's
so
being a good human being.
it's just being
Yeah.
friendly.
Yep. And maybe you just elevated their day that much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a strange, surreal world we're living in right now. Nothing's normal. And all the things that I rely on for joy, finding my peace of mind after a long day, whatever it might be, is taken away right now. I can listen to all the music I want in my house.
Yeah.
That's nice. But all the outdoor music events, gone. I know.
I miss live. I
know.
do miss live music.
Me too. Me too.
Things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The Lodi Fair, our own country fair.
First time in its history.
I know.
154 years, I believe it was.
I know. Wow.
The fair survived World War I, World War II.
I know.
It's baffling that's happened.
The cow chip throw. Those. I can throw a mean cow chip. I can.
I was. I have to laugh about that. There's a gentleman I talked to online, and we were talking about what you do in Wisconsin and Minnesota, and all of these.
Yeah.
And he was talking about running the snowmobiles across the lake. Across the water and things like that. And he said, yeah, but you got to come down to the cow chip throwing contest. And that's a part of our culture. And to miss all of these little things that we're so used to. The Dane Fireman's Picnic and, Beer and Brat Fest at the Grove and the fair and the Susie Days and the swimming pool.
Right.
I mean, all of these things, we have, I think, possibly taken them for granted.
Oh, sure.
And
that they're always going to be
there and
enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. And this year has really made us see what a wonderful place Lodi is and all that we have to offer.
Right.
And now that we don't have it.
Right. Oh,
Ouch.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
But the cow chip throw. And those cheese curds that they sell just right then, hot, right out of the cooker. all the,
Oh,
the
now I'm
fun
hungry.
things. Now the wine walk's been canceled, of
Yeah, yes.
course, for November.
Yeah.
There's no social distancing at the wine walk.
No.
Oh my. Yes. So, and that's where all those events are how we bring it down a notch, how we level out,
Yeah.
how we find our joy. And with all that taken away, it's really a surreal world. It's very odd, and it's almost like a dream, but not really. That's just surreal. That's the
Yeah.
description for that word.
It is difficult. And I think the social distancing, we talk about as being, the 6 feet apart,
Mm-hmm.
but it's become more than that. It's that we are not able to be a community like we want to be.
Right.
Um,
And I found,
except for the pets.
but I found out that 3 things right off the bat. 1, I am not a 6-foot distance person. I am a 3-footer. Okay. Then I still have a hard time backing up. 2, I touch my face a lot. Yeah.
It is.
And I love eating out in restaurants, and they all got shut down and taken away for a while, going, oh, dang, I got to cook again. Okay. More ideas. Yeah, we learned a lot about ourselves.
We did.
Yes, we did.
Hopefully, within a few months, this will be winding down, and we can get back to normal, and sort of understand a little bit more about ourselves.
Mm-hmm. When this is all done and this killer virus goes away, we're going to find out we're stronger people than what we started out being. We're going to find out that our community is more resilient, and we're personally more resilient, and we're just going to continue to grow together. And staying strong together is everything. Oh, yes, here it is.
Stay connected, stay strong.
That's right. Stay connected. Stay strong. We just have to get through these tough months. We can't be bashing each other because you do or don't have a mask on. You do or don't believe. Whatever it is, just let them have that opinion. It's fine. It's fine. There's been arguments actually in the resale store about this killer virus, the issue. And they baited each other, these people arguing. And I actually have had to step in the middle and kind of quiet things down, saying, wait, whoa. That's what a pandemic does to us. It gets us at each other instead of just actually blaming the darn virus.
Well, I think a lot of that
instead of each other.
When things are uncomfortable, when we get into situations where we feel powerless, it becomes a thing to become more aggressive because we want to do something. We want to fix it. We want to feel like we have power again. And we do have to remember to direct it in the right way and not against each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here it is. When push comes to shove, don't. Just stop. Put it away. We got to find peace even in our own gatherings, our neighborhoods, people with different yard signs than what your yard signs are. When push comes to shove, just don't. Walk away. Let it rest. Scrolling on the internet. And then you attack the person that said something. No. Can you just scroll on? Stop. Scroll on.
I will say that I've seen a lot of disagreements. I mean, we all have our opinions on everything. We're Lodians. We have opinions on everything.
That's pretty human.
And being, Southern Wisconsin people and farmers, and we're straightforward about our opinions.
Yes.
I've never seen anybody get offended by an opinion. I've heard some stories around here, and I'm disappointed in that.
Yeah.
We have always been able to sit around the end of the bar and talk about anything. And at the end of the night, we're going, you want another beer? I'll buy it for you.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
It's the way it should be.
But we're being pushed to our limits.
I know.
And this is a time when we need to get past that and go back to how can we help each other, which
Right.
brings us back to,
Right.
we have the optimists, we have the Rotary, we have the churches in town are doing amazing things.
Oh, yeah.
The Santa Project is going to be gearing up
Right.
soon.
The food pantry.
The Reach Out Lodi with the food
Yes.
store and the
Yes.
community store. The amount that we are helping each other is amazing.
Yes, it sure is.
Yeah.
We have the people who come into the resale store and they need assistance in the winter or anytime with electricity, water, heat bills. And we have a folder, a packet all prepared for them so that they know where they can go to for financial aid.
Right.
Yeah. So you just have to run into them and they accidentally, of course, come into the resale store and there we have it for them. It's all just waiting for them.
Now, on that topic, does I know that MG&E has some plans.
Yes.
I'm assuming that Lodi Utilities for water and electricity has some assistance as well.
Well, we're going to see what the future brings and what this upcoming year has to offer people. I'm sure it can fluctuate and change depending on what's going on. But even setting them up on a budget, instead of just saying, no, can't pay it, this little bit won't matter that we do have, well, call them. Yes, it does. Yeah. And they'll set you up on a budget and make it good. And you might take a while to catch up, but it's better than becoming hundreds and hundreds into the hole.
Yeah.
And that you can hardly swim your way out of. That's what's difficult. Yeah. So, and there's Columbia County has assistance for people. Yeah. We actually drive people to those appointments.
Okay.
Us volunteers, we take people to the DMVs to get their appropriate ID.
Okay.
Let's say right now before voting.
Yep.
Yeah. So they need that if they just even moved here, or if their driver's license expired and they're not going to drive anymore. Well, they need the other kind of ID that doesn't have a DL. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So, and we're out there, we're volunteering to drive people to vote at the Lutheran Church, which is where it got changed.
No. Oh, Methodist.
Oh,
Methodist. Let's be clear about that. Okay.
Thank you.
Let me pause for a second here and put that out there.
Yes, please.
That the voting, because of space, City Hall, where we would normally vote, does not have enough space. So they have moved it to the Lodi United Methodist Church. They have a lot more space. Right. And the church has graciously offered their space. On November 3rd, go up there.
Right.
If you don't know where it is, go to Quick Trip and go up the road. It's right at the top of the hill there by the railroad tracks.
Right. Right.
Yep. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. My mistake.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
there's things that us volunteers are doing at the resale store all the time. I'm driving to Wanakee to Walgreens to pick up people's prescriptions because when that wonderful elderly person opens their pill box up, they first realize that they ran out. And it'll take 4 days to get your prescription in the mail. So they know who to call. I'll go get it because I want it back in your hands by tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That's life-saving. That needs to be done. So.
Okay, now, a lot of the elderly aren't online, so they can't go to Facebook and they can't go to your website.
Right.
How do they get a hold of you?
Send anybody to the resale store.
Okay, so the best way is to just
pop in, and if you can't because you're not driving, that's big. Then just have somebody else tell a neighbor to stop by. Give me your phone number. I'll give you a jingle.
All right.
Yeah.
And
then we connect.
When is the resale store open?
6 days a week, not Sundays. We don't open at 10 in the morning right now. We open at noon.
Okay.
Noon seems smarter until shoppers really do come back. We lack consumer confidence. And I get that. It's still easier. I'm not going into Madison, hitting the mall for something that I think I need, or office supplies at the big box. I'm ordering them online until this passes.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone generally is doing. Now, the resale store is picking up some business, but we're still nowhere where we used to be.
No.
We're still kind of floating, and it's necessary to receive donations so that we can still keep the doors open. Well, that's what's really happening.
So
10 until, excuse me, 12 until 5, noon until 5.
okay, noon to 5,
Saturdays, 10 until 2.
10 to 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
So we have remained open.
All right.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming by tonight.
Yes.
I will.
Can I tell you about Walter?
Tell me about Walter.
Okay. Let
Tell
me
me
just
about
tell you
Walter.
about Walter. It's actually part of a book. Okay. Here in Lodi, Julie Burkholder gave me a call and she said, "Did you know that Sassy Cow Milk is giving away free milk? Instead of dumping it, they're putting it outside in a cooler, and anyone who wants free milk can come and pick up milk. You want me to pick you up some? Do you have your people that would really like milk?" And I said, "Yeah, you know what? I think we need a breakfast cereal, milk and breakfast cereal program." So we started with that, and she ran and got it, 25 gallons. I ran and got it. We took turns getting it. And then we put it out there on Facebook, and people started donating for the breakfast cereal. And then when they stopped with the free milk, because things were picking up again, people were purchasing it, then we went to the milk and cereal program by donations. So some of our local Lodians, they donated money for a week's worth or a month's worth of milk and breakfast cereal. So we kept it going. The number one problem I saw in Lodi, and it still probably is that with all the kids home, what's the one thing that moms ran out of?
Milk.
And cereal. Okay. Cereal for lunch, Cheerios for snack. It just was the big thing. And I was at the grocery store one day to shop for some of my people. And the woman was in her car. She had 4 kids in the car, and she's trying to wrangle them and wrestle them to get them out of the car and get them in the grocery store. And we're wearing masks and gloves. And she had none of those except for herself. And I said, "I see that you're trying to get in the grocery store." And what did she say? "Yeah, we're out of milk and breakfast cereal." I said, "I tell you what, I got books in the car. You know me. I'm going to sit out right here by my car, and you have your kids stay in their car. You're 2 spaces away. Have them roll down the windows. I'm going to read them books. I got children's books in my car because of my grandkids." So I took out the book, Walter the Farting Dog. It was amazing.
I'll have to pick it up.
Oh, and I read them, Walter the Farting Dog, page after page, and I could show them, they could see it. They were 12 feet away or so. And they laughed and giggled, and we just bought that extra 10 minutes that mom needed running in the grocery store. And that's when I really knew that milk and cereal program was going to go. So we're still doing it. It's fun. You got to love Sassy Cow chocolate milk. That's for sure. And it happened again. Not only that time, but it happened again. Mom with kids in the car. And you could see the hassle of getting all the kids out and in and out of the car seats, the baby seats. And I did it again. This time, all I had was Captain Underpants. So I took out one of the versions of Captain Underpants, and I don't even think they could really see it from 12 feet away because it's a cartoonish drawn.
Yeah, I'm familiar with
Yes,
Captain Underpants.
yes. So I read them Captain Underpants, and mom came out with what? Same thing, breakfast cereal, and a few other items.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
But-
and milk.
and
Yeah.
milk.
So we've really run far with that. We've done a real good job on that.
Good.
And that's been 8 months in the running. And then I got a call
Wow.
from Michelle from the FFA. And Michelle said, "We have a grant possible." And then I'm wondering if it has to be dairy products or the importance of them due to the COVID pandemic. So she said, and I said, "That's all we're doing this for is because of the COVID pandemic." So we wrote a grant together and we submitted it to the Wisconsin Dairy Association. And we won that one and only $500 grant.
Wonderful.
Yes, to continue on buying more milk and cheese or dairy products from Sassy Cow. Yeah. So that was pretty important too.
Now, All right. I know Reach Out Lodi has a lot of people donating food items to them.
Yes.
Is there anything that if local farmers have something fresh that they've got extra of?
Yes.
Are you able to handle fresh foods and get them out before they spoil?
Absolutely.
All
We do
right.
that a lot.
All right.
It seems like the next person walking the door would love those corn on the cobs of corn,
Yeah.
or the rutabagas, or too many tomatoes. So a lot of people drop off the garden goods.
All right.
Yep. And we just leave it inside our lobby, and anyone comes by, we give them a bag and they load it up. On Fridays and Saturdays, we have a European bakery in Madison that has day old breads, desserts,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
type of things. And so that's big every Friday and Saturday. And people just know that they can just drop in, grab, and go. And that's the small town joy.
Yeah.
Yep. Back to your joy again.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So if you have things to donate,
Oh, yeah.
please do remember the resale shop.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, some people do definitely come with canned goods and they're cleaning things out. And so we do get that. And if it's not that likely that somebody be looking for cans of garbanzo beans at our store, then we just take them to the food pantry.
Okay.
So we pass them on, and then they go get stocked, and out they go to people who might be more selective than when they go grocery shopping. Type of
Garbanzos are chickpeas. They're great on salads. And I make hummus. So
see, pay attention.
There you go. Yeah.
He'll shoot up recipes in a moment. Yes.
Yes. So,
Yes.
all right. Well,
Yes.
thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you too.
Thank you for.
It's almost time for the Badger game. You know that.
Okay, so you got to get you out of here in time for the Badger
we got
game.
the Badger bling and and I got all my Badger wear. Yeah. What do you wear at an interview or a conversation?
Whatever is comfortable.
You wear your Badger.
Whatever. All right.
That's right.
So thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you want to subscribe to our channel, there's going to be a little circle over there. You can click that to subscribe, and there will be a little box here that's going to have an intro to what I'm doing with Lodi in the world. I want to thank you for watching, whether live or later, and thank you for being here. We'll see you next time in Lodi.
Here it is, the very last bit of information. Stay connected and stay inspired. We'll get through this. And when we do, we're going to be stronger and more resilient than ever.
All right.